So you're seeing me throw 2 grenades over this tank, one after the other, trying to take those people out. I wonder how well I do. If we look in the upper left, we'll see yep, I just killed 2 people. 2 stormtroopers. Those are expensive infantry. So I guess I should talk about direct control. I've kind of been scattershot, talking about some stuff that everyone will know and stuff. Ooh, ZIS just took out lots of people. Good AT gun. Those can fire HE shells, of course, and AT guns are not just for fighting tanks. They're artillery pieces all on their own. They can load all sorts of shells and blow the crap out of anybody. But direct control, which I'm using on this AT gun until it's unceremoniously decrewed by an explosive shot. Direct control lets you take, surprisingly enough, direct control over whatever unit you use it on, and you move them around with the arrow keys, and you fire with the buttons, and you right-click to swap between primary and secondary guns, and basically it's just a way to fine-tune your strategic stuff. It's sort of like, you don't need to use direct control really, you can do it all just by telling the AI to do it, but with direct control there's 0 surprises. You know exactly where you're firing, when you're firing, what you're firing at, what direction. You never mess up, you drive through whatever you want. See, I'm direct controlling this T-34 right now. This is a nicer T-34. It's got stripes and everything. And I'm driving it around. Here's a Panzer IV. I stop, take aim, look for the green number, which means I have a good chance to penetrate, and fire. Boom! I just knocked her right through the side of that Panzer IV. So the other good thing about direct control is that it lets you do like easy movements. Like I just did a 3-point turn right there. The AI would have had trouble. And here's another Panzer IV. Boom! Just fire, and it's destroyed. So right now I'm feeling pretty awesome about myself. So, of course, I do the only smart thing, which is to drive my T-34 straight into enemy lines, kaboom, knock out another tank. But now my track is damaged, you might have noticed, and so I click on my T-34, no longer direct control, click the repair button, and the dude inside gets out, takes the repair kit, and starts working on the track. Here comes a Panzer IV, so I direct control again, take aim, and oh, I miss, because I'm dumb. So now I'm letting the AI do the, nope, no I'm not. Kaboom. Well, I managed to kill him. No, I kill his turret, that's the problem. I fire at his turret and I knock the turret out, so now his turret can't turn, but it can still fire, and he ends up getting a good angle on my T-34 and destroying it through the house. Everything in this game is destructible. That house is entirely destructible. The village on the right, which we have lost, if you had noticed on the mini-map, that's entirely destructible. You can drive tanks through anything. You can set anything on fire. All those bushes, all those trees can be set on fire, knocked over. You can make craters in the ground. You can hide in the craters. All those walls can be destroyed. What did I just buy? I don't think I bought anything. I'm looking at what to buy. I'm looking at the nicer tanks. I'm like, I could use a nice tank right now. Oh, those are 2 tank crewmen I sent over to the T-34, back when I thought it was going to survive, and I figured it would need more crewmen. But looks like I bought submachine gunners, so I'm trying to move in on this point, trying to take this point. Taking the point is very important in battle zones. You want to take the point and hold the point, and everything else is secondary to that, which is a lesson I wish more people would learn. And now I'm being fired at from the right. I think those are stormtroopers firing MP-44s. Stormtroopers are a terror. Each side gets assault troopers, like, you know, stormtroopers or whatever they're called. It's different for each side. But they wear body armor. It's these big metal plates they wear, and they carry like really nice guns, and they're just really good at everything. They have a ton of grenades, they have bandages. They can pretty much do anything. So to take these guys out, I bought a pretty nice tank, a really nice tank actually, and I put a dude on top to crew that machine gun on top. He actually got shot, so now he's dead. That sucks. Even stormtroopers are mere mortal. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, this is kind of where I stopped playing, because at this point it's looking pretty hopeless. Couldn't take the left back, so I'm just buying a bunch of tanks. Tanks usually not a fantastic investment unless you're really going to get your worth out of them, but and certainly for engaging stormtroopers, they're not the best idea. What you want to do, I found, is that you try and get the price versus utility ratio to be really nice. You can buy a big old tank to kill a bunch of stormtroopers, but the thing is, it's firing machine gun bullets mostly to kill the stormtroopers, and you're just as well off if you just use, you know, a cheap little machine gun dude carrying his own machine gun to kill stormtroopers. Sure, he'll get shot much more easily than a tank, but considering how little he costs, it's usually a better idea to use the cheapest thing possible to do the most damage. So I bought some Royal Marines, those guys clad in black, and I also bought this cheapo tank. I'm using the cheap tank just because it's got machine guns all over it, so I figure it's going to be more resilient to fight these people. But no, they just fire another Panzerschreck. So that's the thing with stormtroopers and really good infantry like this. They just have everything in their arsenal, and including rocket launchers, which they just use to dismantle anyone who comes up at them. And partially it's my fault for just driving T-34s straight at them. A good player, if he's, or I'm not so awful. A player who's being conscientious is going to scout for his tanks. You always send infantry around, make sure there's no one hiding in the bushes to hurt your tanks. Oh, these are assault infantry on the right, by the way. These are my stormtroopers, basically. One of them has a flamethrower. That guy actually in front has a flamethrower, so I'm direct controlling him, and I'm just like, whoo, eat some flames. But then I realize he's going to get shot, so I'm running him away. Then I realize he's not getting shot for some reason, so I run him forward, and I'm trying to flame that house over there, but it's out of range. So I tell him to go prone, so he can maybe stick around for a while and cap that middle point. What's this thing? Yeah, good players will scout for their tanks. You never want to do anything in war or in Men of War without scouting. The more intelligence you have, the more prepared you're going to be for whatever happens. If you know where your enemy is, that's pretty much halfway there. Then killing him is the other half. But you can't do anything till you locate the enemy. And more importantly, you can't keep your people safe unless you locate the enemy. Nothing is more devastating than someone sneaking up and killing you, or even ambushing you, because it's just you need to be aware of where the opponent is if you're going to do any damage to him. And stay safe yourself. So I've taken the middle back, but things are looking pretty hopeless at this point. I mean, they're not hopeless. We could easily come back. It's pretty tough to read, but we have 150 points. They have 400 points. You need 1,200 to win. And there's 25 minutes left in the game for us to come back. But at this point, I've determined my allies are not so hot, and I'm not playing so hot. So I'm just screwing around. This is a little assault infantry dude I'm sending over to help my ally on the right, but now he gets shot. So next I'll send over flamethrower dude, I think was my plan. Or no, I send over more of my infantry. You see, it might be hard to see, but there's little white silhouettes that appear when you move over. That'll tell you where your infantry are going to go, so you can see where they're going to take cover and stuff as you move them around the map. So there's a Tiger tank. When the game goes on for about this long, there are a ton of different resource settings, so how many tanks and stuff and how many infantry you'll see kind of depends on what the host of the game has chosen. But usually when the game has gone on for this long and you're fighting the Germans, you start to see some of the crazier things, like Panthers and Tigers is pretty much the two big ones. So there's one of my riflemen, just lowly riflemen, running around with a gun, and now he's dead, so that's the end. But here's my assault infantry dude. I don't know what they're carrying. I mean, can't remember the name of that gun. I never understood why they use those little submachine guns instead of the Papushkas with the 71 shots in them, but you can use that gun in Red Orchestra. It's a, I can't remember the name. I don't know. So, here's the inventory. I killed a German stormtrooper, and so I moved my assault infantry dude over to the German stormtrooper, and I take all his crap. I take his medical kits, I take his body armor, I took his Panzerfaust, and now I had my flamethrower dude lying in wait, but someone managed to shoot that armored car before I got to unleash my flamethrower. Flamethrowers are awesome because they can set the engines of the enemies on fire, and then the thing dies. You see, I set my flamethrower dude to hold fire. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but he totally didn't listen. No, he totally started. Oh no, I set him to return fire. Return fire much more useful than hold fire, because hold fire is not going to do you any good if they start shooting at you. But return fire tells them don't shoot anybody unless they shoot you first, which is in theory what America does, but yeah, not so much in practice. That assault infantry guy, I don't know if you noticed, I told him to use medical bandages on himself. That's a way to patch your infantry up, much as you can patch a tank up. So now they start rolling in with, that's a Tiger, right? It's hidden behind a tree right now, I can't tell.